Good morning, Keller Williams. This is, I think, week number 8, and we're making some progress. So let's have a look and see what's going on. COVID-19 update. There's been no cases of coronavirus in New Brunswick since April the 18th, and all 118 people diagnosed with a potential deadly virus has recovered. We have flattened the curve in New Brunswick, said Dr. Jennifer Russell, the Chief Medical Health Officer, said during Monday's news conference. But Premier Blaine Higgs said New Brunswickers should expect to see more cases in the future. Our province continues to be surrounded by COVID-19, he said. Our COVID documents will allow us to continue to do business going forward. I've heard through some reliable source that the Premier will be making an announcement between now and Friday to open up some more businesses that are currently closed. I know for those who have small kids and that are returning to work, one of the hopeful things is that the possibility of daycare will open, and I don't think anyone knows what that will look like right now, but I think that if he's going to ask workers to go back to work, one of the critical things that needs to be reopened would be daycares. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that although a lot of our industry colleagues have closed their offices and laid off people, Keller Williams has not laid off anybody, and we have been working in isolation as well, as most of them have been working from home, and we hope to be between now and Friday in concert with the Premier's announcement that our staff will be journeying back to the office possibly Monday, but we'll confirm that between now and when I make the call with you Friday morning. If we look at the case map, as you can see that there are no active cases and all 118 have recovered. There is no one in hospital and there is no one in ICU. This is a tremendous accomplishment by a small province when you look around and you see how many cases are surrounding us. If you look to our friends in Nova Scotia, I believe they're almost at 1,000 cases right now with 34 or 35 deaths. I think that the borders will remain closed for an uncertain amount of time, and I think that's the right move given the fact that we're surrounded by this. And I think yesterday Dr. Russell said that if we ever have, and we will have, cases of COVID-19 in the future, that they can jump on this and treat it and isolate it to wherever they find the activity. So that's good news for us. And I think that one of the things they said, and I think that we have to be cognizant of the fact, is they said that there is going to be another wave of COVID-19 in the fall. So it's prudent on them to make the right decision as to when they start opening stuff up. And I know that the economy is suffering right now, and I know there's a lot of small business owners that are suffering. We're all in the same boat together. But I do believe that the government has made a lot of right decisions in combating COVID-19. We wouldn't want to just open up carte blanche and then find ourselves in a mess that our other provinces are currently in right now. So in regards to the total tests performed, 2.1% of the population to date has been tested, or just over 15,500 people. So I think that going forward, I think that we'll watch and see the direction of the province. I believe that the state of emergency is still in place, and it will probably be in place till the, I would say, foreseeable future, or at least till the middle of June. So let's take a look at our technology. Technology, innovate, automate, and dominate. And if we look at the TAPS command schedule, we're in the final stretch. David is hoping to have the TAPS audit done, or the tech audit done, before the end of the week. 85% of those that have been scheduled have been complete, and I think he's at probably 12 to 15 left to do, and then we'll be able to set a program in place and get you to where you need to go. In regards to Bold Pivot starts today. It is from 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock on starting today at Tuesday, and then it's on Thursday. Keller Williams Capital is proud to announce that 80 agents have signed up to take Bold Pivot training starting today. That's 60% of our agents are involved, and on behalf of leadership, we are very, very proud that you joined us in Bold. And as you can see, week one is mindset, wake up and pay attention. So today starts at 3 o'clock, then Thursday at 3 o'clock. And then the other 2 days are Coach's Corner. That's where you can go in and ask questions or get tidbits or whatever you'd like to get from the coaches, and they're all MAPS coaches that are going to be on there. But the critical part is that the Tuesdays and the Thursdays between 3 and 5. So I would ask that now that you've signed up, then I want you to stand up and show up and do the work, because there's no one going to be holding you accountable for the work. But it's like anything else, is what you put into it is exactly what you're going to get out of it. So I'm very, very proud that 80 of you decided to do Bold. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention, because I've heard it a couple times, is says, oh my God, all the training that you're getting, it's like, you're giving it to us with a fire hose. We just don't know where to go, and we don't know, there's just so much coming at us. And I think I was on a call last night, and Carrie mentioned this, so I told her I was going to steal it from her today, is that it's no different, or you can equate it to what we're giving you as to go into a restaurant with your significant other or whatever, and they bring you the menu. There's 100 and some odd items on that menu that you get to pick from. Unfortunately, you're not picking 100 and some items, but you decide that you're going to pick out 1 or 2 items off the menu to eat. So you made the choice to pick those 2 items. It doesn't matter about the rest of the 100, you pick those 2 items. So the items that we're giving you in regards to the fire hose is a lot. It's up to you to decide which ones you're going to pick. Some of you, 80 of you, picked Bold. Some of you, other of you, picked Gilles' classes, and someone else picked the Keller Williams International classes. It's like a menu, and you pick off of it, and hopefully you'll put something together. The most important thing is that you pick something off of the menu over the last 7 or 8 weeks, because we've said this before, that we need to work in and on our business during the last 6 or 7 weeks, so that when everything starts to open up, we can pivot and just keep moving forward. So it's important that you participate. The other thing I wanted to mention in the Bowl series is the Marty Miller 66-day challenge. It's an excellent video series on all things command, from basics to intermediate and more advanced. So when you get to page 13 of your Bold Pivot workbook, you'll be introduced to the 66-day challenge. And every step of the way is 66 days. There's a short video on what you can do next to get inundated or get accustomed what Command has to offer, and it just keeps building and building and building. The nice thing about this is that after the 66 days is up, you can actually go back and start the 66 day over again so that you can teach the different parts of Command. And I think that that in looking at that, it'll get you at least a little bit familiar so that when David comes on and comes through and he sits down with you as an individual or as a group, then you'll have at least some knowledge of the flow that he's going to talk about. The other thing that I wanted to just show you, so a lot of times, people say, well, what does Keller Williams have? And this company has this and that company has this. Yesterday I saw these, the next two slides as kind of an interesting, compare Keller Williams to anyone else. The systems and models and specialization, the choice has never been more clear. And if you look at the systems and models and all the checks off for culture, profit share, best-selling books, coaching, career visioning, team building, in-house charity, and expansion. If you look on the other side of that, there's not very many companies that offer this. So I just thought that there was an extensive list, and I thought I'd add it to your inventory that you continue to collect, so that when people ask you, why Keller Williams? Well, here's some of the reasons why Keller Williams, and it'll give you something that you need to talk about. One of the things I learned yesterday in one of our OP class or OP call is that a lot of times we have a real problem telling our story. And we allow our competition to tell our story about us. We don't tell a story loud and clear. And there is a lot of information out there about Keller Williams and what we're doing and what we mean to be in business together. So if you have the time to go look at the inventory of Keller Williams and go look at profiles, and I believe Carrie's going to send something out that you can go start looking at, that you can put on Facebook or you can put on social media or do whatever you need to do with it. But I think that we need to start telling our story, and we need to be disruptive in regards to allowing other people to tell their story. Because when they're telling a story about Keller Williams, it's probably not the right story. So I just leave you with that. The last thing is a bit of a cartoon. We'll just, so you can have that, look at it at your leisure. Again, between now and Friday, Scott and I and the rest of the leadership will probably have a meeting to talk about how we're going to open. If we open on Monday, what's it going to look like? How are we going to do social distancing? Are we going to require masks? Are we're going to require whatever? So on Friday when I come on, I'm going to be able to say, this is how we're going to operate for the immediate future going forward until we're told otherwise. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to myself or Scott. And probably on Friday we'll talk about the month of April that just went by in regards to having a sales meeting. Probably the Tuesday morning I'll give a quick update on COVID-19, and then we'll go right into a sales meeting and talk to you and show you the production of April of Keller Williams. And I think that you'll be very, very pleased to say that we had a really, really good April. So thank you again for listening. I hope that you have a great selling day. Stay safe, stay healthy, make sure you wash your hands. And if you're showing properties, make sure that you are masked with gloves, providing social distancing, because there are people out there still lurking to see if they can have a complaint to file on you in regards to how you're currently doing business. So have a great day, and we'll talk on Friday. Bye-bye.